Hey guys, what's going on? So, if you remember, a while back I said that I would be uploading a earlier than release, just video on my thoughts of the Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer, and you know what? It didn't happen, and right now you're like, Kelly, you've got some explaining to do. And I know I do. I'm sorry. And let's talk about it. So what ended up happening was I and some other YouTubers went to LA to play Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer for a machinima live stream. And we were to record there, and we could use that footage to upload early on our channel. And what ended up happening was the footage ended up being unusable. But what was awesome about it was that Machinima and Ubisoft were nice enough to send us copies of the game, which was great. Canceled my pre-order, and I got it for free. I was really excited. So, whenever you can save money, that's great, because video games are expensive, and there's a lot of video games coming out now. And so, that was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Oh my god. But, I didn't get as much playtime in at home yet. For some reason, like, my Xbox doesn't connect to the internet. It doesn't. And I don't have an Ethernet cord that reaches to my office, so I just kind of had to steal time in Alex's room where the Ethernet cord was and play there for a while. So I didn't get that much time. Wow, greedy internet hog. And anyways, I did get some footage, and it's not of all the game types, but I wanted to use this video to just kind of explain, how this game's making me feel. And I'm someone where I would consider myself a hardcore gamer, and hardcore gamer as in I'm just serious about gaming. I love gaming, but at the same time I'm a casual gamer. So you're like, Kelly, that doesn't make sense. Why are you so stupid? And the thing is that I'm trying to say is that I'm not completely serious about doing like the best I can at a video game. Like, I've always been a competitive person. I've done a lot of sports while growing up, and I'm a competitive person on board games, all that stuff. And sometimes I do get competitive on video games, but for the most part, I'm very casual with it. I just play for fun, and that's it. And this is a game that just, Assassin's Creed, just the name warms my heart. This is a game that when I bought my PS3, alright, the first game I got was Oblivion, because it was on sale. The second game I got when I had more money, because back then I was a Subway slave, and I didn't make, I did make pretty good money at Subway, but I also had car payments, so, that ate away some money. And the second game I got was the first Assassin's Creed, and from the moment I put that game in, I was addicted. I did a school project, a college project on Assassin's Creed. It was for my Islamic studies class, and I was like, hey, can I do my presentation on this game? Like, do you mind? I think it would be pretty cool. And I did some other pop culture things, because he didn't just want it to be about the game. He wanted it to be about pop culture, so I had to do, like, Islamic pop culture. And I was like, alright, that's fine, whatever. But I did use the game, and because I was such a fan of the series. And then the second Assassin's Creed came out, and I was like, oh my god, Ezio Auditore, you are so cool! And I loved the second one, man. The second one was amazing. That was my favorite by far. Like, I loved it. I loved it. And now, finally, the third video in the series, the third video game in the series is out. And I've been so excited for this. If you guys remember back when I did the top 10 games I'm excited for, this was one of them. This was one of them because, like I said, I just love the series. And this video is going to be about multiplayer. Maybe, soon I'll talk about what I feel about the single player. But for now, let's talk about the multiplayer. So, I had not played the previous multiplayer that was in, I think it was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Revelations. I don't remember. Alright, but there was a previous multiplayer. But I did play this one, and this one was a blast. I mean, I definitely have more pros than cons for sure. So it could be because, I'm such a fan of the series, and it's like one of those moments where you have this single player video game that you love, and then you would like die for a multiplayer version of it. You would just be like, that would be really cool. Well, this is what happened for me. Like, they put the multiplayer in, and I got really into it. And, you know, I didn't know what to expect, but I did walk away with being pleasantly surprised. And, you know, let's talk about it. So, I feel like this multiplayer is just, it's refreshing. You have a lot of games where the multiplayer is simply like, you know, run and gun, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's really hardcore, it's fast paced, and this game, you know, it's stealth is the appropriate approach. It gets you more points. Like, if I was to run up to someone and kill them in this game, it would give me like 100 points. If I was to kind of hide and slowly walk up to them, it would be like 600 something points. So it pays to be stealthy and patient in this game. And the funny part about it is that you're like, well, that might make a really slow paced multiplayer. But what I found was that it doesn't. It really didn't. It was very action packed, despite the fact that it felt like my character was just, you know, walking around. Like, I was slowly walking around places, but it still felt really action packed, and it was a blast. And it's just moments that happen that when you're just slowly walking and you found your guy. You found your guy and you're slowly walking up to him. He doesn't notice you. And, you know, you're 5 feet away from this guy. And then all of a sudden you get murdered. And it's like, no! It's moments like that that make this game really exciting. And then there are other moments where you and someone else are after the same guy, and you see that the other person's like running up to that guy, and you're trying to take the stealthy approach, and you're like, no. And so you end up running, and you take a loss of points for that, but it's really cool. There's just so many different ways to go about killing people. And, you know, I thought that there was only really one game type, but in LA, I learned that they, like, had, like, oh my god, like, they had game types where you play as just yourself. They have game types where you're with a team. They even had a game type, what was it called? It was called Wolfpack. And what you do is you have target assassinations of non-multiplayer characters. Kelly, that doesn't sound right. Non-player characters, so NPCs, they're AI, and you have to target those people. Your whole team has to kill them, and you only have a set time, and it's kind of like rounds. So it's called, you have to get to the next sequence. So you'll be given 4 targets, you know, 1 for each member of the team, and you can kill multiple targets yourself if your teammate is like in the corner, like looking at the wall, like, hey, hurrah, and you can go ahead and kill them for them. But that was pretty fun too, because you got to see how many sequences you can get to. It's like comparable to, you know, a lot of you are Call of Duty fans and you love zombies, and so you want to get to the highest round. This is similar to that. You want to keep going. You want to get to the highest round. I only played 1 match. We did end up getting to sequence 9, which was pretty cool. And also, there are perks in the game, and I'm sorry, I do not have perk footage to show you. I did have a ton of it in LA, but like I said, that footage is gone. No! But there's really cool perks. One of them is you can change into a different character, so your character is just like morphs into another one. So that confuses your opponent, obviously. And then there's other ones where you can like throw down a little bomb, or you can throw down like change, and then all the NPCs are like, oh my god, money! And they're going after it and getting in the way of your opponent. It's really cool. So I had a lot of fun with the perks, and I'm sorry I can't show you those. And, you know, another one of my favorite parts was actually the environment, the maps. They're colorful, they're teaming with AI, they're fun, they're cool looking, and there's plenty of places to climb. That's obvious. Like, if there weren't places to climb, like, what? That would be weird. This is like Assassin's Creed 3. There's places to hide, like, there's usually, I think, most of these have, like, leaf. You know how they had hay bales before in the previous ones? These ones are like full of leaves in this one. And other than that, The really cool part about the maps, the environments, is that they change sizes depending on what game type you're playing. So that is really nice because, like I said, while this is like a slow, steady game, like you want to play stealthy, it doesn't feel like that. And the reason it doesn't always feel like that is because in the game mode I'm playing right now, it's me against 7 other people. And if we were in a huge map, it would be kind of hard for us to find each other. But we're not. We aren't. So basically, you know, the map has been made small enough to the point where it just feels action-packed. You know, despite the fact that most people are walking around trying to plan their kills accordingly, it feels fast-paced. And that's awesome because if you had a huge map trying to play this game type, it would just be a pain in the butt. And they were really smart with making that, you know, a factor. That map size is going to change depending what game type you're playing. Now let's talk about the different characters and the animation. So every video game has animation. So, you know, reloading a gun is an animation. It's, you know, the actual assassination attempt in this game. After you press the assassinate button, you get the animation. So a lot of times in video games, these animations just become repetitive. They're always the same thing. They don't change much. You get used to them. In this game, I mean, I played hours in LA. I came home, you know, I thought I had seen all the animations of assassinations. Animations of assassinations, holy crap. It's hard to say. I thought I had seen all the assassination animations to see, but I had not. I saw like dozens more. And it just blew my mind. Like, they really did a great job. And I mean, each character has multiple animations and it's really cool. And of course, you know, when you get killed, it's fun to see how you get killed. And each character has their own different set of weapons. And yeah, of course, you know, you get some of the funny things about animations, and some people might view this as a con, but I kind of think I like it. I think it's kind of funny, is that sometimes when you get murdered, it kind of like zooms out of your body, right? Or it zooms in. And sometimes when you're playing as a female character, it will awkwardly zoom in on the panties or the the cleavage, and it's really funny. It'll make you laugh. Some people might see that as kind of messy, like it's like, what is going on? My whole screen is boobs all of a sudden. What happened? But personally, I think it's pretty funny. So whatever. I'll put an example of that right here. And also, another cool feature is actually that, you know, you can defend yourself. And the thing that's really cool about this is if you do it in the right way, you can escape from your opponent who's trying to kill you. You can escape from them. And also, let's say you hit your, you know, punch button. You usually punch them to get away from them. You hit your punch button to stun them. It's called stunning them. And they hit the assassination button at the same time. So in that case, they always win. You know, you'll always be assassinated every time. And the same thing goes for you. So if someone punches you, but at the same time you hit your button to kill them, you're going to win. But it doesn't really... It hurts the person who is getting the kill. So it takes away points from them. It's called a contested kill. And what happens is they get, I think they usually get like 100 points taken from them, and you get the 100 points then, even though you died. So if you punch someone and then they kill you, you still get that 100 points. So it's you do get rewarded sometimes for defending yourself. And that's a really good option because it's just sometimes, you know, the enemy just sneaks up on you, and it does give you ample warning time when enemies are near. So if someone's about to assassinate you, you kind of hear whispering. It'll be like, whoosh, whoosh, I'm gonna kill you, jerk. And you'll hear that. They don't say, I'm gonna kill you, jerk. But you hear whispering, and it's kind of creepy. And that gives you... I usually, when I hear the whispering, I run away. I don't even stop to stun them. I get scared. I just run away from them. And, you know, I found that running away from them does kind of work. The only issue with it is sometimes I run straight towards the person I'm supposed to be killing, and then I get a lower point kill. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Now, one of the things that I didn't quite enjoy was actually, and it's not a huge deal, but it might bug a few of you. In certain game types, there's one called Domination where you're trying to capture certain points, you're trying to keep them, and when you are actually on one of the teams, you can kill, and when you're on the other team, you can only stun. So the thing I felt like, I hated being on the team that couldn't kill. Like, I could only stun my opponents because it did make it really hard to capture points at times, and I didn't really have a way to defend myself except like, oh, I can stun this guy, but after he's done being stunned, you know, I'm still here trying to capture this point, and he's just gonna kill me. So it can be a little frustrating at times, but I do believe after you do capture the point, and it's easy enough to capture the point, it sounds hard, but you usually can get away with it. Sometimes other players just don't see you. They don't, and they'll let you capture the point, and then you can actually kill them. But I guess I just like want to kill everyone. I don't want to stun them, but sometimes it is, I guess, integral to the game type. But that wasn't one of my favorite game modes. Although if you are on the side that's killing people, it's a blast because you see them trying to capture your point, and you're like, oh, really? And you just like, you know, cut a person. And yeah, you know, I think that if you're considering getting this game, you know, first and foremost, if you're a fan of the series, obviously this is a no-brainer. You probably already have the game, and I don't have to tell you that you should get it. If you are someone who has never played the Assassin's Creed, not Assassin's Creed 3 series, just the Assassin's Creed series, this is a game all those games are games you might want to invest in. They're good games. You know, every once in a while, we get a series that is just really, really good. And I recommend just go to your local GameStop, get some used copies nice and cheap, go online on Amazon, get some used copies of the older ones, play those, then grab this one. It's a great series. It really is one of my favorites. And also, in terms of the multiplayer, you know, while I think the main attraction of this game is the single player, the multiplayer is really fun too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna play it, you know, in my spare time. This isn't just like a, you know, you get the game for a week, you play it for a week, and then you're done. Like, this is a game that I think I will definitely go back to play on occasion because it's a blast. And I've also been thinking about maybe live streaming it as soon as I get my own internet connection in my room and I can Ethernet my computer because its wireless card stinks. I will go ahead and maybe play some games with you guys, because this is really fun to play in groups. Like, if you have a group of friends and you all have this game, oh my god, it's a blast. Like, in LA with all my other YouTuber buddies, oh man, it was fun, you know? We got competitive in a fun way because, you know, we all know each other. It's not like we're strangers on the internet. It was really fun. And, you know, if you're a big multiplayer person, this is a good multiplayer to pick up, you know? I know there's some people who just, they don't care for single player games. They just like the multiplayer aspect. This is a refreshing multiplayer. It's a blast. It's fun. It looks pretty. The animations are just wonderful. The maps are cool. It's a good buy. And, you know, what else can I say? In terms of the game, you know, and how it's just been released pretty recently. The support has been good. I mean, the game seems like most bugs are out. Like, I haven't ran into any as of recent. Like, they did a great job. You know, they didn't release a game that was half finished. Some developers do that. They push out a game and it still has tons of bugs. Not this one. This one is very clean. It's good. It's good to go. And also, there's just an exciting rush that happens when there's moments where a bunch of players come together all in one spot. And it's just a murder fest. And then you hear the game, it's like, massacre. And it's just exciting. Like, you just watch like 10 people get murdered in front of you and you're like, oh my gosh. And then like as you're watching everyone like fighting, you get murdered, and it's just, it gets really, really exciting. And I really like this game. Doing this review is making me want to go play it, and that's good. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try and get some, just a full game for you to watch. If I haven't put one in here, I think I'm probably just going to do mostly clips. But I'll try to get a really cool, really fun gameplay and then show you that later. I think that's really most of what I have to say about this game. Like, I really enjoy it. And that could be because I'm a huge fan of the series. But like I said, if you're not a fan of this series, I don't know what you've been doing. Living under a rock, punching yourself in the face. Get on it, guys. Come on. If you're real gamers, get this game, even if just for the single player. Just get the whole series. It's really good game. It's very interesting. It's a little controversial too. So go ahead, check out the games, and also, have a great day.